What I want to do today is something a little bit different than what we normally do. I wanted to go over an old audio footage that we had, and so I pulled it out of one of my archives, and I thought it was forever lost, but I found it. But I reviewed it and listened to it because I thought there was something significant on it, and I was right. And so what I want to do is I wanted to talk about it a little bit before we showcase and spotlight the recording that we had gotten that night. I had always knew the value of sound, and I knew that video would not always be able to get you compelling footage because they're elusive and they are able to hide. But they can't hide from audio. Everything that's going to move into the wilderness will emit some type of sound. Well, that night, Mark, myself, and my two sons, we had went into a previous place that we had activity at. I would say back in December of 2013. So this footage is about 2 years old. And I haven't really listened to it until just a few days ago. But anyway, we were going to this location that we had activity that basically is just an open field behind us, and it's just a wall of vegetation. There was Mark, myself, and my two sons, Mike and John. And what we were equipped with that night, we was equipped with two large parabolic dishes because I knew the value of audio from when we went up in northern Georgia that one time. So let me give you an idea of what Mark was armed with that night. Okay, I don't know if many people have seen our equipment here. Okay, this, everyone, is a, let me pull back a little more. It's the 24-inch parabolic mic. Okay, this is what it looks like. It is portable. I built it to be stationary, and I self-made it. It is stationary. It's made more for a base camp operation, but it is also portable, as you can see. You can hold it in one hand. Okay, Mark had this with him that night, and I had the smaller 18-inch parabolic dish with us that night. This will reach out and it will pull some sounds in, as you will see in the video. What happened that night was Mark had basically went off. We were going to go into two teams that night, and each team was going to have a parabolic, and we were going to check out this area that we had gotten activity. The activity that we would receive was something would be inside this vegetation area. This, like I've said, like a wall. And every time that we have walked up to it, it seemed like something was there waiting on us, and it would just come to us. Okay, it would come straight to us, move around, but would always stop short of us and being able to show itself. So we knew we were kind of on to something because it was consistent. We had heard it before in two other outings that we had went out there. So I got smart on this. So I armed up with parabolics, and we went out there. So Mark went off on his left about 30-40 yards away. One of my sons was supposed to go with him, but they didn't go. Maybe they were scared, and they stayed with me. This was at nighttime, but there was a full moon out, and it was in December, so it should have been a little bit cool back then. So anyway, he goes off to his left, and he starts, we're hearing stuff. I'm hearing stuff on the 18-inch parabolic, and so Mark just basically comes on back, and he basically is creeped out. And he says, I'm not going back over there. One of you guys need to stay with me or go with me because I'm hearing all kinds of stuff over there. So I thought that was kind of funny, and we'll play that in the video as well. And so Mark said, okay, I don't have no problem people hearing what I had to say that night. But the interesting thing is I want to bring out is that the power of the parabolic microphone, the dish, the power of it is able to reach out and grab stuff, okay? And what it reached out and grabbed that night was, it's not very long. You can hear the movement. It's creepy. There's a vocal there. It's not Mark on the vocal because Mark had the opportunity to review the recording as well. I reviewed the recording on my 18-inch parabolic, and it was not my sons that had made this sound because they were with me. So we've ruled out any one of us that would have, accidentally made that sound. But basically, what it sounds like is, it sounds like something calls out my son's name, and it just says it like this: Mike. And it is creepy. My son's name is Mike, but it is also close to Mark. Okay, so that's what we want to point out. I discussed it with Mark, and I said, well, what do you think, man? What do you think that was that night? I mean, it was 2 years ago. We were young, we were inexperienced, we didn't know what we were listening for, but now we do. Now we do know what we're listening for. We know what the sounds are. We know what the vocals are. What do you think it was? And Mark said, I think they mimic us. And I said, I think you're right. And they listen to us, and they listen to our speech, and they they're able to mimic what we're saying to one another. And obviously, it could be a very good possibility that they hear our names, and maybe something was just uttering something under its breath that night, and saying, maybe he thought he was Mike instead of Mark. I don't know, but something was out there with us that night. We heard it in the bush. It was maybe about 10 yards in, maybe a little further away. It's kind of creepy sounding, and I hope you enjoy it. Now, the video that I will attach to it, like I said, it was in our early days. We were very inexperienced. I did have 2 Parabolics that were completed. I did not have any night video equipment until like the week after this recording. So I will show you a recording in night vision, and the recording will be, it was really recorded like a week after this, so I'm going to disclose that up to you up front. But it is nonetheless, it is in the same location area, and it is while we were out there squatching. So it is truly authentic video. It just wasn't recorded simultaneously with the audio. I hope you enjoy it. Please comment, and here we go.
I need somebody down here with me. I'm not standing down there by myself. There's all sorts of creepy noises down there.
I heard it too.
So John or you or somebody can walk down here with me.
Oh, no.
Because they get louder and louder. They're getting louder and louder. I'm sorry.